One of the most interesting times to document the great blue heron's nesting behaviors is at feeding times, or as I'm calling this episode, chow time. It can get pretty frantic in the nest at times as the chicks compete for food, and sometimes even brutal and dangerous for the younger chicks, as you'll see in part 2 of this video. Newly hatched chicks peck at the adult's bill, the nest, and each other. Initially, the adult stands on the rim of the nest and regurgitates food into the open bills of the chicks. The chicks get quite proficient at grabbing the adult's bill and pulling it into the nest, as you can see here. As the chicks age, the adult often regurgitates onto the floor of the nest, and the chicks display ravenous behavior, trying to get as much as they can from the bottom of the nest cup. In this scene, the parent is blocking the view of what the chicks are eating for supper, but in the next clip, I got a pretty good shot of it. In this nest, the chicks are much younger, probably just a couple weeks old. You can clearly see they're eating part of a fish. Here, the parent is holding it in its beak for the chicks to eat directly from. Looks kind of yucky to me, but I guess they're enjoying it. And now the parent just swallows it whole. And this is the most wild feeding scene that I have ever seen. These are much older chicks, probably about 7-week-olds. Oops, what the heck? I don't know if you saw that. Oh my gosh, the way they pull on the adult's beak. I mean, it looks painful. I can't even tell if they're getting food out of it. But I'm assuming that they are. There, it looks like something's going on. But they really do look like they're kind of rough on the parent. And now it looks like the feeding is done and the adult just turns around. Oh, here's a nest of little baby chicks. And the adult has already regurgitated into the nest. And you can see that they're, oh my gosh, look at that big piece that one chick is eating. That is most likely the oldest chick in the nest, and it looks like the youngest one barely got anything. So this next scene starts out really happy. This was really cool, capturing this parent heron flying over to their nest and then climbing up this branch. That was such a cool thing to capture. And then it hung out up there for a couple minutes. And then I was surprised to see the other parent flew over for a nest exchange. And this one has the meal. And now this is part 2. This was this nest a couple days earlier where the chicks, there were 4 chicks. They were adorable. They seemed to really get along. There, the chick was giving a chick a hug. And now back to the scene from this day where the feeding time started and it was really kind of rough. Oh, look at the adult. You could see like the fish in its mouth. But one of the older chicks started pecking at the young one, and this was like so horrible for me to watch. This is what I'm talking about, how these chicks get very competitive at feeding times and they start pecking at the younger ones, basically fighting over the food. And oh my gosh, they're so wild and aggressive in this nest, pulling on the adult heron's beak and then attacking the youngest chick in the nest. Poor thing is just trying to get away, and it just looks like it really was just injured too greatly. I mean, when I first watched this footage, I literally had tears streaming down my face. And it's just unfortunately part of nature in these nests, and this actually is very common. And there they are, pulling on the adult's beak to get the food out, while that poor other little chick is just hanging off the nest. I checked on that nest a day later to see if the chick who I named Dewey made it, and I actually wasn't able to really tell. I see 3 chicks sleeping there and then possibly one over on the left side. And I will give an update in my next video about little Dewey.